day 31 of the U.S.-Iran war. Okay, guys, we just have some. Let me bring up some. Just throw on my screen here. Throw on my screen. Okay. So what I'm gonna do for you guys is there is a lot of updates. There's a lot of updates, and the reality is it's too many things happening too often. Um, Israel strikes, kills Lebanese soldiers. Now that's something that you got to know. That Lebanon, remember when you think when they're talking about Hezbollah's in Lebanon. Welcome. Who else is joining on? I see a couple of y'all joining on from Twitter. Welcome. Tell me where you guys are coming in from. Oh, we got a what's this Discord group. Welcome. Welcome from Discord. Um, so Lebanon being attacked, but remember, Lebanon is like a really small country. There, I think, like 1.9 million people. Not very big. Israel's 9 million people. So technically, by comparison, Lebanon is closer in size to Israel than Israel is to Iran. So, I guess you can punch above your weight. But let me tell you guys just some quick run updates, right? Like, let me see what I can do. Okay. So the US, let's Google this as we go, right? I lied to you guys. How old do you think I am? I'm 46. I'm 47 years old. I am 47 years old, or I'm sorry, 43. I am 43 years old, guys. People don't know that. People always say, "Oh, Dom, I thought you were 36. I thought you were 36." No, I'm 40. Okay. Why is that important? Well, you look at this article. I'm just gonna go for those who don't know. Army raises maximum enlistment age from 35 to 42. Whoa, okay. If you didn't think there was a war going on, they're like, oh no, before, um, be- well, welcome from Twitch. You guys are from Twitch as well. You Twitchers. But yeah, Army raises enlistment age from 35 to 42. So if I was 36 before, I was safe. I was out. I mean, whatever. I was available in my first 35 years. I'm not available at 36. If I was 36, but I'm not. I'm 43. So if you thought you were out the age gate grab, they're back in. They're calling you in. I don't know. Y'all might want to start changing your profiles to your right ages of 43. If you are 43 years old, you may not be able to be enlisted. Do with that what you may. Okay, so I'm not even gonna get into the details of that because that's just whatever. And honestly, also they took away certain things. Now you can be slightly like kind of dumber to be. You don't have to pass like all the competency tests. They're just like whatever. You got a finger and some hands. We're throwing you in. So all of that other stuff. Remember, you couldn't be fat. I think they're taking fat people now. So 42-year-old fat, incompetent people are going to be joining pretty soon. We'll see how the war goes after that. Okay, so more troops arrive in the Middle East. Okay. Look, I'm just going to go over troops to Iran. I'm just going to go over this. The U.S. now has over 50,000 troops in Iran. More 3,500 U.S. troops arrive in the Middle East as Iran strikes intensify. Are we winning this war? I don't know. But as of this weekend, 35 more troops, 43 and under. Well, some of them are already enlisted, so they're older. But arrive. We have the Marines going in. 2,500 Marines there, and then the U.S. On the U.S. Tripoli, and then we have some paratroopers. So the thought is that they might take Karg Island, whatever, and which is where the oil processing for Iran is. And Iran, something interesting that they did is that their runways, right, like they're where their airports are. They put trucks on their runways, right? Like so, and you do that when you're worried about an invasion. So they're preparing so that your enemies can't land. And I don't know who watches this show. I've been told some people at some of the highest middle level of government watch this show. I will tell you, please, don't do it, right, without consulting me first. Because if I am Iran if I am on the other side, you have to think about how the enemy is thinking about it, right? And in this case, I'm not even saying I'm part of one or the enemy is the other. I'm saying if you're the United States, Iran's your enemy, you got to think, okay, if we've been telegraphing that we're going to go take over Karg Island, if I'm Iran, I'm like, hey, look, I'm putting bombs everywhere. Once you guys arrive, okay, great. We're pressing detonators. So you got to be careful with that, right? You can't get set up in the trap. It's just kind of silly. Everybody who's watched the Goonies knows that you booby trap stuff. Pirates have been doing it since Blackbeard. It's the good old booby trap. So that's kind of like, okay, if in case you're out on a date and she's like, hey, have you heard any Iran news lately? Like, yeah, U.S. is sending 3,500 more troops from USS Tripoli to Karg Island. Well, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Tell me how that goes for you. Okay, another update. There's a lot of Iran and U.S. stuff, and this has just been escalating so far. So now we got more troops, whatever. Now remember, Trump said, hey, we have complete air and military supremacy. We have the best planes in the skies, the boats, the submarines. They can't do anything to us in the air. He said that. Okay, so U.S. plane destroyed. Look, I don't even have to finish it. Destruction of vital U.S. radar carrier. It's a what is this called? It's an E3, E3, U.S. Air Force E3. It's a satellite radar plane to tell you where the missiles are. Blue, 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 blue. That looks like a little bit more than just a little damage. So this is one of the U.S.'s top airplanes for surveillance. It's a U.S. Air Force E3 Sentry, and it was on the Saudi Arabia Air Base. Look at that, just here for the pickings. And Iran's drone or missile, unfortunately left certain like 10 people injured. No fatalities. And one thing that I did learn is a casualty in the war is somebody who even gets injured. It's not just somebody who dies. So a fatality is obviously a death. But welcome from Twitch. So yeah, U.S. airplane destroyed. And U.S. is like, no, it was just a little. First, the Army said it was just a little damage. They said it was just a little damage. So that you know where your source of truth is, come here and get it, because they were like, just a little bit of a damage, but not much. Okay, well, I think you could duct tape that up. Okay, now Iran has their own damage, right? Like we're not even going to get into all of the stuff going on with Israel and Iran, because they're blowing each other up pretty good too. All right, but just too much stuff going on. All right, another headline. Spain says no to airspace. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me tell you guys something. For those who don't know, believe me, right? If you look at this map, I want you guys to tell me where Iran is. If you've been watching this show, now you know that's right there. Saudi Arabia, this is right here. This is where the airplane was blown up. United Arab Emirates, Qatar has bowed out. They're like, look, man, we're just so small. Oh, stop it. Yeah, that's the airport that and my producer was like, just be careful with sharing your screen because you don't know. I'm like, whatever. I am grown. Whatever you guys see on this screen is your fault. I am sharing live. I don't know what I've searched before this. It might have been an infatuation. It might have been a curiosity, but we're gonna find out. Now you're gonna see how many times I clicked on it. That's how you really know the person's personality. Is it the same search multiple times? Like different wording. But okay. So Qatar is right here. Bahrain is right here. Look how little of a country they are. Honestly, between you, me, and a couple of our buddies, we could probably take over Bahrain. Look how that little country is in this big boys war. I feel bad for them. Qatar's right here. We need a little bit bigger group of people to go take over Qatar. But I'm busy. I'm so busy. I can't go take over another country right now. You guys, tell me if I should. By the way, I'm Angola. This little piece of land. I've been thinking about running for president. Maybe I should run for president of Angola. We'll talk about that. How hard can it be? How hard can it be? What's the ballot situation? But why is that important? Why am I even going over this with you guys? Because Spain is all the way over here, right? Like Spain is over here. Spain doesn't really have much going on. It's next to Portugal, whatever. Not much going on. It's a beautiful place for, just scenic views. But Spain's prime minister says you can't use our airspace. You can't fly over Spain to go military actions. Spain's prime minister has been really hard on the United States and Israel, and they are unequivocally against this war. They called it illegal. I mean, good gusto to him for having the cojones to just tell the United States how they really feel. Applaud Spain for that. So now I think it's more of just a gesture. I don't know what. I mean, the United States may use their airspace to avoid detection, but where the heck is the United States using? Like, there's nothing to fly over Spain with. I mean, unless they're coming from Punta Delgado or something here, or flying out of Portugal, right? Like, okay, then you got to go over to France. The French are neutral. The French are neutral. Look, by the way, France, I know I have a couple French friends. I love you guys. I don't even know. When was the last time France really had a good showing on a battle, on a war? The French Revolution, maybe? And that was technically the France losing the war to its people. Like it's like saying who won the Civil War? The United States? Yeah, but they also beat the United States. Well, they beat the Confederate. But whatever. Like France, you guys surprised me. You guys are all weird. Great food, great whatever. Is French food really even good? Is French food really even good? Maybe not even. Pastries. You guys got pastries. But maybe you're too neutral. Like Switzerland, we know Switzerland is neutral. I can't even, where's Switzerland on the map here, guys? Sweden, okay, Switzerland's around here somewhere. But French are like neutral, but they're not neutral. Weird. So Spain says, don't use our airspace for no military attacks on Lebanon or wherever, Iran. Oh, God. So the United States, Donald Trump's not going to like that. Now, all of this, I don't care. We got a couple people watching. Nobody on here can tell me that Russia is not benefiting from this war. All these war freaking hawks. Oh, we got to stop freaking Iran and whatever. You know who's winning? Russia. And they're here. You guys, this is a little geography map class. Russia's here. Moscow, the capital, is here. Russia has had sanctions on their oil, and and Cuba's here, right? Cuba, who's having rolling blackouts, is here because the United States stopped energy from coming to Cuba. There's a great show about how babies are dying in Cuba because the electrical grid is going out, and when the electrical grid goes out, the generators aren't kicking on fast enough for babies in the ICU. Some of them, purportedly, to get help. So, and why is Cuba not getting oil? Because United States attacked Venezuela, which is here, that used to get oil to Cuba, but now Venezuela, its oil is under the United States. So Cuba's asked Mexico, which is here, to get oil to Cuba. And guess what? The United States said, Mexico, if you send oil to Cuba, we might Venezuela you too. So Mexico's like, okay, no oil to Cuba. Okay. And Russia now, okay, let's see here. Russia oil to, look, I didn't even got to finish it. I didn't even search it. This is Russia oil. Trump says he has no problem with Russian oil tankers bringing oil to Cuba despite U.S. blockade. Oh, no. Am I not sharing? Hold on, guys. Trump says he has no problem later. Sorry. You see, no matter how rich you guys think I am, I'm not rich for a paid subscription. Get out of here. Trump says he has no problem with Russian tankers bringing oil to Cuba despite U.S. blockade. Did he say that? Is he saying, okay, you have now permission to bring oil to Cuba? Or is Russia saying, you know what? we're going to bring oil to Cuba either way. Stop us. And guess what? Oh, you can't because all your military ships are on the other side of the freaking world. So now it's like if somebody's going to do something anyways, despite your blockade. So if you're allowing it to come in, it's no longer a blockade. You're not blocking it, right? You're not blocking it, folks. So now Russia, who historically has not sold oil to Cuba that much, and remember, guys, the Cold War culminated with the Cuban blockage, right? The red line, John F. Kennedy, with Russia sending oil and military and blah 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 to Cuba. So this is an interesting 360 where how far we've come. We learn nothing from history, folks. All right. So now Russia is like, oh yeah, this is sweet because we're selling oil all around the world. And now guess where? Okay, let me bring my map up again. Shoot. Where's my Google Maps? Where's my Google Maps? Going back across the frickin' world, right? Your tax dollars are everywhere except for frickin' home, right? Now you guys are getting me started. Serbia, let me zoom into Serbia. Serbia is here. Serbia is kind of like part of the old Soviet Union. They're trying to get into the EU, right? European Union. They have a pending application. But guess what? They can't do. They could not buy oil from Russia because Russia's oil is sanctioned, right? But that's because nobody is being able to bring oil from here. And I'm going to get into Yemen in a bit. Oh, before I talk about Serbia and Russia, let me connect the two, right? Saudi Arabia, big oil producer. This is the Strait of Hormuz, guys. Remember, Strait of Hormuz right here. If you're following, let me know. If you're not, let me know. I'll go back. I'll explain. Strait of Hormuz is being blocked by Iran. Remember, right here. Strait of Hormuz is being blocked by Iran. And military, remember, the Abraham Lincoln was like right here somewhere. Then it backed out. No, I'm sorry. Maybe, yes. And then the Ford was on the other side. But Saudi Arabia was like, okay, you know what? That's okay. You're blocking here. But there is the Gulf of Aden. On this side, you see this little passageway? We're going to sneak our oil, about 80% of it, to here, to the Red Sea. And then we're going to, there's a big pipe. You see this road right here? Like that's like kind of a pipeline coming to the Gulf of Aden, Jeddah. There's a great Formula One race here in Jeddah. And now all these countries here can get their oil out of right here, the Gulf of Aden from the Red Sea. You see this little port? It's even smaller than the Strait of Hormuz. Now, what country is right here that controls this? This is called the Bab al-Mandab Strait. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but I'm trying to remember all these things. Yes, Yemen. Yemen is right here. If you never knew where Yemen is, don't worry about it. It's not your problem. This is not. But what group is in freaking Yemen? That's right, the Houthis. Okay, but the Houthis are not involved in this war so far as of my last Houthi strike. Houthi strike. Houthis Iran. Let's just go with that. Oil prices rise. Record month surges. Let's see here. Houthis strike. Okay, so look, as of yesterday, guys, and Yemen's Houthi rebel, this is Al Jazeera. This guy, they all got their military outfits out. Let me just speed ramp through this. I don't know where. Okay, so this guy, military spokesman for the Houthi rebels, they got their, I don't know what all these stars whatever mean, but these guys have been seeing all this war stuff going on, and they're like, we want to get in the action. And they basically said, we're not going to get in. This is the craziest thing. I love this. They were like, we're not going to get in unless escalations happen, another country gets involved, or it was another thing, right? Like that was on like Friday, right? They're like, but we're not going to get involved unless any of those three things happen. Friday. Saturday, they're like, we're in it. We're going, like, all right, F it. We're in the war now. So they sent some strikes up to Israel. 2 missiles, blah, blah, blah. They both got intercepted, right? So nothing really hit that I can tell, not that we're being reported. But going back to Dom's map, and again, this is my map. Don't let anybody else tell you anything. And I'm just letting y'all know that the fact that it says Google on there doesn't mean anything. It's my map. Going back to Dom's map, the fact that Yemen Houthi rebels are here. This is now what's called the third front, people. When you're talking to the chick and she's like, "Oh my gosh, like you're so cute, but something's bothering me." What's bothering you, love? What's about? How many fronts to this war are there in the theater of the Iran-Iraq or Iran-U.S. war? What's the theater of war? Oh, love, there's three fronts. There's the Gulf of Aden, the Oman Gulf of Oman, which is by Iran, and then there's Lebanon. You shouldn't be worried about that. I learned that by watching Ask Domnet. So Israel is attacking Lebanon here, right? Boom, Lebanon. That's that who's out there? That is Hezbollah, right? Boom. They're in a ceasefire allegedly with Gaza here. And who's there? No, the Houthis. Yeah, who's Hamas? Okay, it's a lot of H's. These groups got to start changing their names to. Okay, so Israel's fighting Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, right? Lebanon. Remember, some of their soldiers just got killed by Israel. They're fighting Iran, and now they're fighting Houthis in Yemen. So that's the three fronts of the war, people. They're extending themselves, and by they, I mean they're calling the United States to extend themselves. But the problem with this, why did we say all this, is because all this great oil before was coming out of here, but now the Houthis are like, we see what Iran is doing. We're going to close the freaking Gulf of Aden. So Saudi Arabia is now stuck. You see how they're not on the Arabian Sea. They only got these two little things. Most of the world's liquefied natural gas comes out of this area, folks. So guess who else has a lot of liquefied natural gas? Now going back to Russia. That's why Russia's like, oh yeah, we're going to send oil to Cuba now. We're going to send oil to, okay, we were talking about Serbia, Russian oil. Serbia, Russia, oil. I'm just giving you guys headlines, people. Okay. Serbia, Reuters. Serbia secures gas import deal with Russia. I think it was another 3-year deal. Look at this. I've got to allow these ads so I can share with you guys for this page. Refresh. This is a 3-year deal. I'm not going to get into the names because I'm going to butcher them, but this guy's name is Vucic. Right, and obviously that's Putin. Look how tall that guy is compared. Like, do you believe this small guy is like more powerful than this tall guy? That's crazy in the world, right? Like, this guy can destroy this guy, not in physical combat. That's what we need to get back into. If world leaders want conflict, we should just put them in the freaking ring. And whoever comes out, and you can, like, maybe you can pick like 3 of your cabinet members. Like, you and 3 of your cabinet members go against him and 3 of his cabinet, because Russia has some big guys. So I wouldn't be surprised if Putin has 3 or 4 guys that are about this big. I don't know too much about Serbia, but these guys drink their milk. So maybe that's how we should just be handling it, instead of sending 30, you guys who are 30 or 43 and younger. But yes, so Serbia was about to stop buying freaking Russian gas, but because of all this nonsense, they're excited because now they've worked out a deal for the next 3 years. I think I was reading that it was 3 years, 6 million cubic metric whatever per day. Look more into it, guys. Read into it yourselves. We're coming up on time because there's just so many headlines going on, but Russia is just flowing. You could take this off here, Aaron. Russia just flowing in the money right now because there's so many countries that are buying Russian gas, because all of the 3 fronts of war has stopped the flow of gas, oil, liquefied natural gas. And Russia's like, okay, show me the money. Show me the money. I don't speak Russian, but let me give my best impression to it. I'm actually gonna put so I don't offend anybody. Russian translation. Show me the money. Let's see, what does that mean? Pokazi dinge. That's what show me the money is in Russian. If you speak Russian, and I did that I'm pretty sure I got that 95% right. But let me know. Let me know. Pokavina dinge. Oil. Let me not even figure out what oil is. But that's where we're at, folks. That's where we're at. The war is, and Trump, remember, we were supposed to attack 48 hours. You guys have a 48-hour deadline. Iran said, clock is ticking. We waiting for you. 48 hours. We'll be here. Then Trump's like, oh, well, I mean, 5 days. Now that 5 days has gone to 10 days. Guys, I think we have a problem. But that's just me. All right.